Happy Thanksgiving. It is Thursday morning. I hope your day is full of food, football, family, fun. Whatever it is you do on Thanksgiving, I hope you have an amazing day. Take lots of pictures, make lots of memories, and it is nothing but joyful and fun. I do want to highlight a conversation I had yesterday. I think it was yesterday with Beth Traverso about this weekend being the best weekend of the year to write disrespectful offers. I believe this to be true and now have evidence. I want to shout out Forrest. Forrest is a member of my school community, and he let us know about a deal that he just locked up. Here's the story behind the deal. And again, congratulations, Forrest. Let me know when it closes. And of course, I will send you a card. So Forrest finds an opportunity in his buy box. The list price is $199,000. Unfortunately, $199,000 does not work for Forrest. It does not produce a great deal. So Forrest lets that property sit on the market a while. And then when the time is right, he writes his first offer. His first offer is $171,000 with $21,000 in seller credits. Net to the seller, that is $150,000. Again, remember, listed for $199,000. So I wanted to shout out Forrest for writing a 25% below list price. I would put that absolutely in the category of disrespectful. I think a disrespectful offer is somewhere between 20 and 30%. Again, very different, very markets. Know your markets. Blanket statements are hard. So again, do the work, do your area, all of that. The buyer sees this net 150 and says, no, thank you, Forrest. The buyer does decide to counter and basically says, you know what? I'll give you most of what you want, but not all. What do I mean? The buyer counters and said, I will give you 171, which was the offer price, but zero seller credits. So in theory, the seller takes it from 199, does not give Forrest 150, but does say, you know what? Let's get this thing done at 171. To which Forrest says, no, thank you. That doesn't work. That's not a great deal for me. So Forrest lets some time go by, writes up a second offer, realizing that the seller wasn't very interested in seller credits. Instead of writing an offer that was combined net 150, Forrest writes 156, no seller credit. So in theory, Forrest came up $6,000. At which point, crickets. Nobody's responding. About a day later or so, the agent texts back, says, seller accepts 156. You made a good deal. I would argue he made a great deal, but why quibble about words? Comma, timing is everything. You can't make this stuff up, folks. I have been doing this a long, long time. I know what I'm talking about. I have the track record to prove that these weekends, this weekend especially, is the weekend to write that offer. Why? Nobody else is writing offers. They're all out watching football, getting fat, drinking beer. Do your job. Write the offer. Follow up. Do the work. Again, at the end of the text, timing is everything. Folks, it is that simple. I do want to let you know that we're doing something special today in about 26 minutes. The one and only Dion and I will be going live right here on this channel and his channel as well, just to say thank you, interact, ask questions, riff, have some fun. I hope to see you there. It'll be about an hour. I do have a quick call at 9, so it'll be about an hour. If you want to come, stop by, ask us questions, say hi. We will be there for it. We will enjoy it, and just a great way to give back. I do want to talk about a concept of a live-in flip. and maybe we will have this conversation with Dion in about 25 minutes. I think a live-in flip is a strategy of real estate investing that not enough people do. Now, in fairness, kind of like house hacking, it's not a strategy you would probably want to do with little kids. I mean, come on. Who wants to live in a dustbin for 2 years if you have little kids? But hey, if you're like myself and Olivia, you are, empty nesters. If you are perhaps younger and you haven't yet started that family, a live-in flip is perhaps one of the most tax efficient strategies out there. So what is a live-in flip? Live-in flip basically means you buy your owner-occupied home, get the best rates, low down, you know the drill. However, you buy a fixer-upper, and then you spend the next 2 years slowly remodeling it. Now, why 2 years? Why don't you make it faster? Because again, we are trying to do something that is tax efficient. There is currently a loophole in the tax code that says you, as an owner-occupant, can get up to $250,000 if you're single, up to $500,000 if you're married, tax-free by selling your owner-occupied home. Now, folks, if you don't know this, Dion has a wonderful duplex right on the water, near the water, that is his owner-occupied home. It's where he lives. It also happens to be where he house hacks, so he's getting paid to live there. But hey, we've already talked about why that's a cheat code. Well, Dion's coming up on 2 years. I think it's 2 years in July. Guess what? He could list and sell that property, probably profit 200 grand, maybe 250, and not pay 1 penny to the IRS. How do you like me now? This is a wonderful strategy. And again, I don't know if Dion will do it. We'll ask him in the show, but you can certainly see why that is a wonderful strategy. I mean, think about that. $250,000 tax-free. Even if taxes is 20%, that's 50 grand. And oh, by the way, folks, you could do this every 2 years. Every 2 years. As long as you're comfortable living in a remodeling unit, why not? Come on. What's the problem? Inflation is heating up. We did talk about that. Again, if you follow this channel, for several months now, we have been looking at what's called the base effect. We have been pointing at the October numbers reporting in November as being a problem. We saw a huge opportunity for them to increase, so we were not surprised. Again, remember, we have these conversations usually on Sunday with Mr. Dan Bird. The inflation reading starting January through April should get very easy. Now, what do I mean by that? We have about a 4-month period where we're going to knock off a big number and likely replace it with a smaller number. Let's give you some examples. Let's say, because it's like a roller coaster, right? There's 12 carts. Let's say the first cart that rolls over is a 4. If you replace it with a 2, inflation falls. If the next cart rolls over and it's a 3 and you replace it with a 2, inflation falls. You got me? That is what we have for about a 4-month period where we are knocking off rather large numbers and hopefully replacing them with much smaller numbers, which will drag, yank, push, crash inflation to sub 2%. It's kind of a mathematical certainty as long as we don't see some kind of oil disruption or supply chain disruption or something of that ilk. So again, we will be needing to watch that going forward. We did have another accountability call in school. In fact, it is the original accountability group. It's 22 weeks in a row. 22 weeks in a row. Wednesdays, Frank has been leading an accountability group. It's this one ran 3 hours. They talked about DSCR loans, construction loans, and the story of stabilizing 14 properties over 2 years. Folks, you need to join school. You need to find the group that is right for you. I want to give a special shout out to our 2 latest accountability groups. I want to shout out Hunter. Hunter is actually leading a mastermind or accountability group focused on real estate agents, real estate brokers. I'll even throw mortgage brokers in there, folks. If you are in the business and you want to get around other collaborators and folks that are doing the work, can be no better way than joining school, joining the accountability group with Hunter and the like. It is amazing. And then the group that I have been waiting for, the group that I have been hoping would happen, has happened. I want to shout out Amelia, my mistake. Amelia, I knew I said that wrong. Amelia and Jen, the ladies of ORAT, have an accountability group, have a call. It is scheduled Wednesdays, 8 a.m. Pacific. I believe that is the time they have set. It's on the calendar, so you will see it. I think it is so wonderful that the ladies of ORAT, Amelia and Jen, have stepped up and said, hey, we want to co-run this together. We want to put out something there for the ladies of ORAT because there are so many. And I was very hopeful that this would happen. And I got the text or the note or the DM or whatever you call it yesterday that they were ready to rock and roll. So we've got 3 accountability groups. We've got a mastermind for agents. Now we have a ladies of ORAT accountability group. So we are doing big things in school. I don't know why you haven't joined and got around all of these other amazing folks. Just go to school.com, look one rental at a time, measly 67 cents a day, and you will enjoy it. Let's talk about tariffs. Again, as you've heard me say repeatedly, my belief is the tariffs are a threat, aka a sledgehammer is the word I have used. It is going to be used to do what it does, and it's going to force conversations. It looks like the threat of tariffs on Mexico and Canada are already working. There was a very quick call with Canada and a call yesterday with the president of Mexico, and we are making substantive movements in stopping caravans of migrants coming to the U.S. border. We are making headway in identifying fentanyl and sources to stop the destruction of our youth and all of that from fentanyl. All good things. Again, when you talk about Mexico, I read a report the other day that something like 35% of what Mexico produces gets pushed to the U.S. If you think that Mexico can make the same threat to the U.S., realize that less than 2% of the stuff we make goes to Mexico. So it is not an even exchange, if you know what I mean. So again, the threats of tariff are just that. They are a sledgehammer to force communication, force behavior modification, and in this case, stop the migrant caravans and stop the horrible movement of fentanyl into our country. So let's just call that a win-win. Let's talk about new home sales. Something that, again, points to the exactly broken housing market that I correctly called several years ago. Did you know, historically speaking, that new home sales made up roughly 13% of total transactions? The housing market is so distorted today. New home builders are playing with an unfair advantage because, again, they could play with interest rates, that they are now 26% of total transactions. Now, of course, a lot of that is because existing home sales have fallen from 6.6 million to 3.9, but why quibble? New home sales are 26%. And I want to shout out the creator of that data, Rick Palacios from John Burns Consulting. I saw that in a text or tweet that he sent out. I did dig into some existing home sales data that I failed to earlier in the week. It looks like existing home sales are down at 3.96. We discussed that. Prices up to 407. They are up 4% year on year. Volume. This was interesting. I didn't know this until I went back and looked at the data from last week. Transaction volume is actually up 2.9% year on year. It's the first time transactions were up in 12 months. So pretty interesting. First-time home buyers now make up 27% of transactions. That is horribly low. I think the cycle low is 26. So 27 is not much better. Usually 40%. A healthy real estate market, a healthy housing market has first-time home buyers between 40 and 42%. So 27, bad. Inventories at 17%, or I'm sorry, investors are 17% of the market. Cash buyers make up 27% of the market. Distressed market is 2%. And days on market are up to 29. The housing market is slowing down. It's a buyer's market. Please expect the days on market to continue to increase. And the final stat I looked at was exactly what I called 2 years ago. I said, folks, the housing market is broken. We are going to see a distortion in transactions. We are going to see low in volume fall and high in volume increase, AKA median home price would go up. You cannot imagine the hate I got for making that call, which is really funny because it's just math. If you don't understand median home price, that's not my problem. But yes, some of you have been around for a long time. You can remember the hate I got. I even did a whiteboard where we listed out home prices and tried to show you why removing transactions from the low end and keeping the transactions at the high end would mean median home price go up. It's math, folks. Go back and take statistics. Here we go. In September, these are September numbers. No, these are October numbers. What month are we in? Yeah, October numbers. Transactions below 100 grand fell 18.5%. Transactions 100K to 250K fell 1.4%. Again, remember, housing market is broken. No move-up buyers. Nobody selling entry-level homes, AKA sales go down. Now, 250 to 500K, up 8.6%. 500K to 700K, up 16.2%. 750K to 1 million, up 19.9%. And the coup de grace, sales over $1 million, up 23%. Folks, it's math. It's just math. This is why the housing market is broken. The low end is not transacting. The high end is. If you take total volume from 6.6 to 3.9, you have more high end than low end. Median home price go up. I told you this was going to happen. You didn't believe me. Oh, well. All right, folks, I look forward to doing this live stream with Dion here in a few minutes. Please do me a favor. Buy your tickets to our Vegas event. It is selling out fast. We are now under 80 days away. We are less than 80 days away for an event that I've been planning for 6 months. You can go to Eventbrite, get your tickets there. General admission VIP. We are more than 50% sold out and selling out fast. No extra tickets this year. Sorry, if you miss it, you miss it. Get your tickets, secure your seat, get in the room with these amazing folks. I promise you won't regret it. Happy Thanksgiving. Later.